So what's up, y'all? I am back with another podcast. This last time I had a six-figure trader, Charlene. She's a forex trader, amazing trader. If you didn't check out that podcast, go and watch my shit because it's lit. But tonight I have a seven-figure millionaire trader on my podcast tonight. CallMe100K. His group get lit. You know what I'm saying? They be making a big percents. But before I get into that podcast, let me just show y'all my winning trade I took the other day, because y'all know I like showing off my winning trades. I like showing off the shit that I won. So look, this is a little off topic before the podcast, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me just show my trade real quick. Let me show my trade. Oh shit, turn it down. So yeah, I had entered from 376. I'm gonna just scroll this down. Just consider this like a little YouTube short. Watch this shit go up. You know what I'm saying? This is trading straight ICT and the STRAT. I ain't had time to put all those little marks on there. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. It's all good. Yo, watch this take out all my target points. Watch this. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So this was a little hour trade. Target points hit. My target points always hit. So anyways, if you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And let's get into it. What's up, y'all? This is Bella, Trading Day, back testing with Bella. And today I have a special guest, Kevin, CallMe100K, the lit group.
What's up?
Exactly. I don't know no group that's doing over 200% a day. Like, every group member is happy in his group. So today we just gonna be asking Kevin some questions about how did he get started into options trading and how did he start his group up. So how did you get started into options trading, Kevin?
So I actually was just surfing on I was on Instagram a regular day, and a friend of mine had actually tagged me on, you remember Top Capital back in 2020. A friend of mine had tagged me on one of his posts. I think he was running like a promo for trading, for his trading course. And at first I hit my friend back and I was like, I don't really want to do it, because as soon as I saw the charts, I thought about forex and the people that used to represent
Network
forex
marketing
back in the day. It left a bad taste in my mouth. I wasn't seeing people actually making money from forex. I saw people making money from recruiting, and so I was like, I didn't want to do that, But she was like, just sit on it, just get it while it's on sale, just sit on it. So I was like, okay. And so I bought the course on a Thursday, and then I got my son that Friday. So I took advantage of it while he was asleep. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Took my first live trade that Monday. I made $900 on my first trade, and then after that, I was like, okay.
Was it from like a real strategy, or did somebody call it out to you?
No, I didn't have it because I wasn't in a group at the time. I just took what I learned from Todd's course. Because remember, Todd is a very basic, trader. Like, he's not into all of the charts and the technicals and the strat. He's not into all of that. He's more like, if the market is moving up, kind of go with the flow type deal. And so no one called it out. I was just looking at, because I had some oil shares like Gush, Crowd. This is back when Crowd was like $80 a share, but I started buying it back when Wall Street traffic started missing. So I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna just trade them since I already got them in my portfolio. So no, I just took it on my own, and then after that, I said, okay, I could do this.
So how does it feel like running a group of over 8,000 people? Because I see that in your bio that you have over 8,000 people in your group, or you have over 8,000 students.
Yeah. It feels good, to be honest. If I can just go back again. So that group actually came from my barber's friend. So my barber's friend, he's been he's my friend now too, but he's been trading since before I was, maybe 2-3 years before. So maybe like 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. And my barber, he was like, hey, come in our trading group. And at the time, the group was like maybe 100 people. And so as I started trading, I started
So you
following.
took over that group? That
Yeah,
group was
yeah,
already
yeah.
started to get over and you built it up? Wow, that's lit.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, he I was just watching how Todd was doing and how Chris Johnson was doing, and then I said, you know what, I can do this because I've always made money like on my phone. I've always been marketing myself. Like I used to sell products online. I used to do network marketing myself. So I'm always building something on my platform. So I was like, you know what, I think I can do this too. And I told him, the dude that owns the group, his name is Mandy. And I was like, yo, this is what I think I can do for the group. Can I blow it up? He was like, I don't know, but if you think you can, go ahead. And I dropped my course November of that year. I've updated it probably like 4 or 5 times since, try to keep up with the times. And then, here we are now, like 8K students in.
Yeah, so you started trading the strat. How's that been going for you, trading the strat? What was your strategy before trading the strat?
So first it was technical analysis. Um, and to be honest, I actually didn't start reading charts till about 5 or 6 months into my trading journey. Like, cause how long you been trading?
I've been trading for over a year and a half. So I've been trading since
Over here?
last year, March.
Last year, March. Okay. So I
Hmm.
started back in June 2020. That's when
So
Trump
you
was
started with the
pumping the
bull
market.
run when everything was ran up.
And see, then you could literally place a call, go to sleep, not lose any sleep, wake up and be good. And so that was, I guess you could say that was easy for a lot of us. But what happened was, closer we got to election, a lot of careers, are nowhere to be found anymore because September, October 2020, that's when stuff got real rough. And I had a wake up call myself. Like I was playing earnings back then when you could place calls and it would hold its value overnight. Like, all of that came to an end towards the fall of 2020. And so at that point, I said, oh, I got to learn this chart. So back then, I started learning technical analysis like moving averages. I was using the RSI, I was using the MACD.
I used to
But
love the
then,
MACD.
yeah,
But the
I
MACD
mean,
is such a laggy indicator. Oh my God, I used to still be getting clapped.
all of them are like, and it's crazy too. And we can talk about this later, but like everything works. It's just always better. You know what I mean? And so I got rid of the indicators and I started trading breakouts. So I would use like pre-market highs and lows. I would use previous day close, previous day opens, highs, lows, but I wasn't using any indicators. I was using simple like supports, resistances. If we break this resistance, the next one is this. Um, and people been, so the strat, so what's funny is the strat was introduced to our group back in like January, like early last year, like February, maybe March, by it's a guy. His name is Faith in the Strat on Instagram. His name is Yearn. Him and Carolina, they helped run my group. They started talking about the strat, but we never really went anywhere with it. Like we thought we knew what he was talking about. If we was like, oh, there's a 3-2, but there's so much more to the strat, as you probably know. There's more than just the combos. There's way more. And I didn't take it serious. So I continued to do my breakout trading or whatever. And I think Yerm just, Faith in the Strat, he just studied like
I know
crazy.
who Faith in the
So,
Strat is. He's a good trader.
yeah,
He's a really good trader.
yeah, very smart dude. Shout out to him. He just took it and just went to the moon with it. And so he started talking more about it in my group. And then I connected with True to the Strat. He's from New York. He's also my group. They got their own group too. But they both just started talking about the high percentages. And so I'm like, all right, they doing this on swing trading. I'm not a swing trader. I want to do this on day trade. And so my group is primarily day trading. So we got together, we started learning. They started like sharing their ideas and information in the group. And then more people started getting hip to the strat. People started doing like one-on-one coaching with them. So then obviously people start turning strat. And I said, you know what? I got to give in and it's pure price action,
You was
right?
like, hold up, I gotta get this 300%. No, I
Yeah.
learned about the strat from True too, Jonathan. That's who I got
Yeah.
introduced from the
Yeah.
strat, and this other guy named Mac. They was doing the strat, and also
Uh-huh.
they do ICT. You do ICT?
I don't yet. I'm still, honestly, with the strat, because I'm in the process of updating my curriculum, and what I want to do is put the strat stuff in there that I know. And there's still a lot that I have to learn. Like, for example, the broad informations are so imperative when it comes to the strat, and I have yet to sit down with True or Yearn and actually learn those because that's a big component. So I haven't gotten to the ICT. I still want to just master the strat and have something for the newbies that come aboard. But I mean, the strat, I mean, it's price action, right? So that's what the big boys trade, the hedge funds, the institutions. Like, why wouldn't you want to trade like them? So yeah, I said I got to give in.
So when you started trading, how much money you started with?
700. It was 750. So I took 300, turned it into that 900, and then I got greedy, held it the next day, which was that Tuesday, and I lost some of it. So then I added another like $300 or $400, and then I think I traded somebody's earnings. Oh, you know what? It was FedEx earnings that week. I traded earnings, and I think I hit 3K. And then I think the next week, I traded Shopify earnings.
Wow.
And I think I made like 8K. And it just kept going.
You was having hell of a good luck, wasn't you? You was having some good ass luck, wasn't you? Because when I first started trading, I was getting clapped. I started trading in 2021.
That's what I'm saying. Everything, I'm telling you, everything changed after Biden came. Everything. I'm like, earnings, I'm gonna be honest, and I'll just throw this out there too. The only earnings that is worth it to me is right now is Chipotle. And the reason I say this because that's the only company that I know of that does 100 plus on earnings left. And I say left because remember, all the big tech companies have split. Amazon, Google, Tesla, Shopify, right? Those were the ones that was doing 50, 100 plus. They're all split. They're not going to do that. So to me, it's just not even worth it. So earnings, it is a gamble. No matter what you say, it's not back in the day where, like I said, they beat revenue and the earnings per share and they go up. These companies are doing everything I just listed, but investors are either taking their money out or they're just flopping. Like, it's just not the same. So no point in gambling. You're not at the casino. So
you had some good luck considering the time that you started trading. So what you say you was doing before you was trading? You say you was into network marketing?
No, before trading, I was what was I doing? I want to say I was messing with products on eBay. So I think I was buying stuff wholesale. And
like drop shipping?
Yeah. And then I was doing a little bit of real estate. So I was doing some wholesaling and real estate a little bit. Just dibble and dabble in that. But yeah. And then before that was network marketing for a few years.
So we talked a little bit about stock talk, but everybody's trading for a reason. Like, we all trading to become free. I see on your Instagram, you be living real free. You be traveling everywhere. You be taking your sons out. So what's it like experiencing different parts of the world?
It's a blessing. For real. It's a blessing just because, it's fun. They say, money doesn't buy happiness, but neither does being broke, right? And so, having just like the freedom to do what I want, when I want. I didn't want money to like be an issue for me eventually, and then of course like my children, because when I was coming up, as a lot of us have, our own struggle stories, but like money was an issue, and I remember my grandmother used to she didn't always get everything I wanted, but I remember she used to always say, no, I don't want money to be a problem, and I said, man, that's what I want to be able to tell my kids. Like, obviously I tell them no, but so, it's nice that I can do whatever, whenever, like on my own leisure. I don't, I can take a vacation whenever. I don't have to really penny pinch. Don't get me wrong, I'm frugal.
Oh, no, I just see you a little Gucci bag on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, he be balling outside of trading.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Like you should. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing.
No, I like nice things, but it is a blessing though to just know, like, you have that, to know that you created that, to know like, oh man, this is gonna be for my children, for when they get grown, so they can have something. And it's a blessing for sure. Definitely in a spot that I've never been in.
So if you one of the traders that's making like 20K in a day, how does it come when it's time to pay taxes?
Get a CPA.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
I hire a CPA. So I actually, I used to work at I was working at a hedge fund, and one of the ladies that worked there, she recommended her CPA to me. So, and it's a grip. It's about, it's like 40%, which is a lot, unfortunately. I mean, it's almost half of what she makes.
40%.
It sucks.
Wow. Like
But
I be making money trading. I be like, shit, they gonna have to come get me because you gotta pay your taxes after like 3 years, don't you? Like you got 3 years to pay your taxes.
yeah, and they'll definitely start hitting you with the letters. I'm sure. I don't. I mean, I have been fortunate to pay mine, but I just, you know what? There's a way. Somebody told me in my group that there's a way that you can. I think you either trade out of like an S corp or an LLC. I can't remember, but you get certain tax advantages. And then remind me when we get off this podcast. There's a video I saw on IG somebody sent me that was about like I think it was talking about not paying taxes at all from your trading gains or something like that. I could send that to you. But one other quick tip too for anybody who's watching it for yourself too is I watched this. There's this video about the difference between trading SPX and SPY, and trading SPX has better tax advantages than trading SPY. So
Why?
let's say, yeah. So let's say you trade SPX all year, right? Only SPX. And let's say you make $100,000, right? You will only have to pay. I could be off with the numbers, but I know you would only have to pay maybe like say 18,000 in taxes. I think it was something like that. If you were to trade SPY, I think it was around like 24K or something like. I just know that it's a significant amount of taxes you would have to pay trading SPX versus SPY. So I had to send you that video too. You got to remind me. But
That's
yeah,
really
I was like, oh,
interesting.
cool. Yeah, the taxes is definitely something to pay attention to.
Like the only stocks I trade is XPX and SPY. I just started trading SPX like 2 months ago. It go crazy. Like it's allowed me to make a lot more money, especially changing up my strategy. So that's interesting. I would like that video.
Yeah, SPX. It's funny. Me and a couple other guys in my group because if you like when the market opens, an SPX contract is about, we'll say an average like $2,000, at $2,000 to $3,000, depending on how juiced up they are, right at open. And obviously, the longer you wait, the cheaper they get. But we're like, okay, why wait for the end of the day? You can actually get something like 100 to 120 out the money and spend 100 or 200 on a contract and still hit a high percentage going way out the money. And obviously, if the stock continues to go your way, obviously your gains are going to go up even more. But I'm trying to put together something because I tell people, please learn SPY before SPX because SPX will kill your account. Just as fast as it can bring it up, it'll kill your account. That thing moves. When it moves, it moves. And
SPX have you crying. 20% on SPY is 100% loss on SPX. Like, you negative 844%.
Yeah, see?
So when you be like a big trader, with your personal life, how does it come with having relationships? Like, does it come with people just want to talk to you because, like, you're a big-time trader? Or, like, how does that go? I was talking to another trader, and she was telling me, like, she's very lonely. Like, making a lot of money. She's super lonely.
But I mean, let me ask this: is she saying she's lonely as in like an intimate relationship, or she doesn't want to be bothered with people?
She's just like every time somebody come around, they just basically want something from her because they know what she have.
Yeah, I mean, I have my tight circle of friends that I call my friends. And then, of course, you have people that do look at you like you got it, right? And sometimes I take offense to that because I think they like to just look at what they think that I may have and not, oh, but he has his own family. He has his own obligations. And so, I've had it happen a few times. People have asked me for money. I don't have a lot of family on social media, on my Facebook, but I don't have a lot of family on my Instagram. And the ones that do, they don't really ask me. They just more so be like, oh, put me on, stuff like that. But yeah, and then I mean, other than that, I haven't really, I still hang out with my friends. I don't really have any problems with family. I just, I mean, actually, I took a lot of my stuff. I take a lot of my stuff down. I don't show. See, the good thing about posting percentages, no one knows how much that is. They better not be watching this podcast.
Yeah, I
But
was
I
doing
used
that
to
on
post
YouTube. I was
crazy.
posting all my amounts. I was like, you gotta stop doing that. Just post the percents instead.
Yeah,
I was like $4,000.
yeah.
I'm like, you gotta chill. Just post the percents now. It's too much.
Yeah, no, I mean it comes with a lot more hate, and then let's just be honest, like the world is it's crazy. You know what I mean? The world is just you just never know. Like I don't like live in fear, but at the same time, I just know what goes on, and so I really don't have a reason. Like I don't have anything to prove. I'm big on social proof, so I like to show like it's not just me, but like we know like my group gets to it as well. So.
So I'll just ask you one last question because I know I only had a certain amount of time. I ain't trying to take too much time. So last
Yeah,
question
so I got a
is,
little time.
oh, all right,
Yeah, I got
cool.
plenty of time.
Because I can
Yeah.
talk. I can talk a lot.
It's
So
cool.
how
It's
has your
cool.
personality changed since trading? I'm gonna tell you mine first. Like in the beginning of the
Okay.
year, my trade was crazy. So like I was not eating at all. Like I had no friends, don't want to party no more. Matter of fact, I was only eating chicken and drinking water, like out on some Jesus shit. Like I was like, I gotta get my trade right. Like I wouldn't hang around nobody. I'm not going to no parties. I'm not clubbing anymore. Like nothing.
Uh,
Like I'm completely changed as a person. So how have you
no, and
changed?
I respect that. I mean, that sounds just like how I was. So I I just be honest. I never really had a huge group of friends. Like I got this philosophy, right, where it's like I can't keep up with a bunch of friends and a bunch of women at once because it's too much to keep up with. I have to remember your birthday. I gotta remember what shoes he like. I gotta remember what time she get off work. I gotta remember like it's too much. So I'm
Boy,
like, you
you
know
be
what?
posting all them sexy pictures on Instagram. Don't get on here with that.
Well, I mean, I like what I like, but I just can't do it. No, but I was when I mean super focused. I'm talking like YouTube every night. So I watch my Market Mondays, and then back in the day, I used to watch a lot of Mark Monroe.
No, I
I don't
don't.
know if you ever heard of Mark Monroe. He had or has, I'm not sure, but anyway, he's a very wealthy brother. I mean, he also a venture capitalist. So like he'll put say a certain amount of money into a company, and as it grows, he'll sell it and take his stake. I remember he sold one company either 2020 or 2021. He sold some stake of a company for 400 million. And this is public information, so he's a good
Wow.
dude. But anyway, he had a strategy. Big tech guy too. He's big on tech. And he had a strategy called rolling fours. And basically, I think it only works in a bull market, but I don't want to knock his strategy. But basically, what it was like you would put a certain amount of money, and you had to hold it for like 9 months. You would put a certain amount of money into some positions, but they were like leaps. And so every quarter, that's why I call it rolling fours. Every quarter, you would take profits from the ones that you did a certain time ago, and then you would like reinvest. It was a strategy he did. Like I said, I think it works during the bull market because you definitely couldn't do it this year. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do it
Yeah.
this year, and really not a lot of 2021. But anyway, I used to watch a lot of his videos, YouTube. I mean, I used to lose a lot of sleep too. Just sometime I would because the markets overseas. Well, I'm on the West Coast, so the markets overseas, I want to say, started moving at 1 a.m. And there would be times I would just stay awake, and I was just losing sleep. And but I was very focused and like really determined to learn. So I'm studying the markets. I'm online. I'm watching interviews. I'm YouTubing strategies. And then as the group came about, I was very present like all day, every day in the group. I'm trying to figure out how I can get better with them. Um, I'm a single dad, so I just got my son. So when I would have my son, I had to really. It took a long time.
You're a single
Um,
dad. I never knew
I
that
mean,
about
not
you.
like full time. No, no.
Not full
I got a
time.
son,
Okay.
like 50-50. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 50-50. But I mean, I'm single with a kid, so like I really have to learn to balance, like mentally. it's easy to put down my phone and play with my son, but if my mind is still elsewhere, I'm not really present with him. And that's what I found happening is I was always thinking about trading or money, and or the group, right? The group. If I get an alert from my group, then I'm picking up the phone, I'm telling him, hold on, and I'm like, nah, that's not fair. You know what I mean? So it took a while to be transparent, and it started to actually bother me, like on the inside. I'm like there would be times where I would take my son back to his mama, and when I leave, it would kind of be empty. Like I would be like, dang, like I don't think I was that present with my son this weekend, and that used to really bother me. Like it used to hurt. So I said, you know what, I gotta switch something up. And eventually I just started updating my group and just telling them like, hey, I'm not going to be as present, or, this day or this week, I'm not going to be in the group too much, or I'll drop a watch list and that's it. Like, and once I started to balance, work life or trading life and my personal life, it started to feel so much better because I used to look at it from the outside and be like, man, it feels so much better. Sleeping way better, like doing regular stuff. Because like we said, I wasn't even watching sport. I'm a big sports guy. My 10-year-old, he knows way more about sports than I do. And I'm always appalled by how much he knows. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know this player was on this team or this player got traded. But I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't watching sports. I wasn't keeping up with the latest artists, the latest drama, entertainment on social media. Like I was only following traders, entrepreneurs. Like I was when I say laser focused. So I say like this year, late last year, but definitely this year, I got back to regular stuff. I'm watching TV and chilling. I'm BSing, traveling. It feels good. It feels good. But I had to get to that point, right?
So I was like that too with my son. Like I'm a single mom, so I definitely relate to that. I used to be crying so bad because it's like, damn, my son be right there, like wants some attention, like. But like you do 50-50, I'm 100% single. Like his dad got to be out of the picture for whatever the reasons may be. But the way I just look at it is like, shit, some people got to go to a 9-to-5 job. Like at least I'm still right here trying to get it for us. So maybe if you was thinking about it like that, you probably would have felt a little better, because that's how I made myself feel better. Because I used to be feeling really bad. Trading was taking over everything.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like there's a thin line between justifying why and then at the same time, like, okay, but still, right? Because I knew why I was doing it. But at the same time, I had to really sit down and ask myself, okay, do you really have to answer this question in the group right now? No. Do you really have to make this post on Instagram? No. Like, and I'm just thinking about all those little times that little by little becomes a lot. And I'm just thinking about all those small things that would pull me away that really could have waited. And I'm like, I wouldn't have lost anything. You know what I'm saying? So once I analyzed it, and everything is, we're creatures of habit, right? So it didn't just happen overnight. Trust me, I failed at it plenty of times. But once I started feeling good and I started seeing the difference, and like I'm hands-on type of parent, so I love connecting with my son. So you see the difference, you see the difference. It feels good when, you're not just on your phone and your kid just over there doing whatever they want versus like you on the floor playing ball, or you not over there on the phone, but over here doing homework with your kid. Like it's way better. So.
You're right about that. Like at 4 p.m., I used to be like, all right, it's your time now. From 9 to 4, it's like, come on now, I got something to do. But you did analyze it. What is your zodiac sign?
Leo. I don't know nothing about that stuff, but I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Okay, so I can tell you some traits about yourself. So Leos are deep analyzers, overthink a lot. Leos hold grudges too, so I don't know how you may be in that aspect. Leos are very caring people though. Like when you guys care and somebody make you feel comfortable, then like you will go out of your way. So that's some traits about Leos. I love horoscopes, so I would know.
But what's funny about the overthinking thing is my best friend is the overthinker where it gets on my nerves. So I'm not gonna let you give me that.
Really? So you're not an overthinker? You don't talk about analyzing throughout half this conversation. You're not an overthinker.
I know, but I think overall, I think I'm more on the optimistic side. I think I'm more optimistic. I mean, maybe there's some things I analyze, but overall, I wouldn't say I'm an overthinker. Now you about to have me overthinking this.
Nah, don't start overthinking. Don't start overthinking.
Nah, you good.
Leos is real fiery. Matter of fact, my mom's Leo. I'm a Virgo, so we're outgoing, we're kind, friendly, sweet, talkative. I'm an overthinker too. I think that's what helped me become better as a trader anyway. It's just overanalyzing deep into details and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, that does. I mean, too, you got to think, right? We, no, not to anyone, but we also are not basic traders. When I say basic, I mean the STRAT is not basic, right? ICT is not basic. And I mean, when you compare that to what everyone else, or a lot of people that do TA, and I'm not saying that stuff is easy, but when you start learning STRAT, it gets a little bit more intricate. When you start doing ICT, it's even more advanced. And so, you know, you got to be detailed. You got to be on point. One little slip up, you know what I mean? And if you don't have, you know, your ducks in a row, it could cost you. So, you know, you know, it's a time and place, and especially with trading.
I have a question.
Analyzing.
Do you specialize in full time frame continuity? Because I see you upload that a lot on Instagram, and you be hitting on those trades.
I mean, it's a huge part of my trading strategy. One of the things I'm adding to my course is because sometimes things are not in full time frame continuity. Sometimes there's conflict, right? You might have, say, the lower time frames flip down and the higher time frames are up. So one of the things I want to show in my course is how I trade those the lower time frames into full time continuity. So let's just say all of them are green except the hour, right? The hour might be red. So I'm like, okay, well, I know when it hits this particular mark, the hour will flip green. So that's where I would take the trade, because obviously that would be in confluence with the rest of it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a huge part of my trading strategy. And again, that's part of the STRAT. What's funny is I was using that before I started using STRAT. And it would just help confirm when I was, you know, like a breakout trader, it would help confirm a lot of my entries. But once I started learning STRAT, I started getting real tricky with it. But it's a big part. It's important.
I'm gonna tell you, when you get into learning ICT, when you look back at breakout trading, you're gonna be like, what the hell? Because it'll be like those breakout traders, and then smart money come and stop you out. Like, you would get in on the trade and break out, and then you gotta get stopped out because it's taking out liquidity, and then go the opposite way.
Well, see, that's the thing too, right? Like, at one point when I was doing breakouts, I was trading like above pre-market high, right, or above this particular level. But again, this is why I got to learn broad information. When I was doing that, I wasn't using too much full time frame continuity at the time. So a lot of times it would fail, and groups would ask me. I mean, not groups, members would ask me. They would say, "What do you do when it reverses?" And I didn't always have a straight answer other than cutting it for a loss. But now learning STRAT, I see people doing ICT, is like, you know where price is going. You know what I mean? I don't know the ICT stuff. Yerm, faith in the STRAT, is major with that. So I advise anybody who wants to learn the ICT to get with you or him. Like, how did you learn, or how are you learning?
So actually, I learned from General Mac, the boy that trades with faith in the STRAT.
Yeah, you go. Okay. Yeah. They doing their thing. Oily Boys Trading Group are doing their thing. Like, yeah, they doing their thing. That's what's up. I see a lot more ICT talk too, like on Twitter these days. So I'm like, dang, like, is it I want to say, is it a new strategy, or just more people getting hip to it now?
It's been out for years, but just more people getting hip to it now. So I just got on YouTube. I'm like, let me go see what's this. Everybody keep talking about ICT. Honestly, if you don't learn shit, you probably just want to learn like buy side, sell side liquidity first. That overall could change your trading around. Like, that's basically how I trade. Like, I'm like a liquidity trader, and that's how I be hitting high percentages nowadays. Like, just trading SPX. It only take like 10 minutes to learn. I'm telling you, like, it's not even that hard. Like, they be trying to make it seem complex. It's not complex at all.
I mean, everything's going to seem complex when it's something new, right? Like driving a car. At one point, you didn't know how to drive. When I see some of the charts that Yerm, there's a couple other folks on Twitter, when I see their charts, sometimes there's quite a bit on there, but it's how clean it looks. Like Yerm, his charts, they just look so clean. And when I say clean, I mean nothing is on them, but
Like no indicators,
Everything
nothing.
No, I mean like it's detailed, right? Like it'll have an arrow pointing here, but it'll have a box shaded, and everything means something, right? And I just like how organized that the charts look, because I've seen where maybe the trader might know what their everything on their screen means, but like to the average person, they're like, what is all of that going on? But I feel like with a lot of these ICT charts, especially with Yerm's charts, like I look at it and I can actually read like, oh, this means this is going up here, or this shaded area means, you know what I'm saying? It's really nice.
That's what I'm telling you, Kevin. Like when you first start learning, I want you to learn like fair value gaps and buy and sell side liquidity. Like that's just like the basics. Then you start getting into the complex, like swing low, swing highs, order blocks. But when you just learn liquidity first, you're gonna change overall. Like,
oh man, she converted me on the podcast. That's crazy.
So this call is about to end, but I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, and I really appreciate you. This is my second episode, and it means so much to me to have a millionaire trader on my podcast. That makes me lit. So thank you.
Congratulations to you. And I'll shout it out. Make sure you send me the name of the podcast so I can blast it and have people come be a listener on your thing. But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity and I loved it. Let's keep in touch and let's keep getting to it.